now's a great time to just double check and kind of reconfirm that you have everything in place, right? So with your Google business profile, making sure that it's properly filled out, that you have everything in there, that you're continuously posting to it, that you've got your socials in account, that your website's tuned up and ready to go, and using this as kind of a springboard or launching pad into the spring season. Develop more content. Don't take the foot off the gas and don't sit back and just assume that, well, we're not getting calls right now, we can't do anything. There's a lot of things you can be doing. Video content, creating more content, following up even with people to pre-book your spring sales calls, right?
One of our clients, she's a dog trainer, obedience trainer, and she uploaded over 1,000 pictures. She put them into folders. She did the changing from the image over to the exact keyword. The thing that's going to help her company achieve, and she did have 14% growth in the last week and a half on her Google profile, with what we put in place for her too. 14%. That actually is a lot.
Really what Google's looking at is they're looking at it from a perspective of, are you a legitimate business, right?
These are part of the stack to make sure that we have the stability that Google is looking for in us.
Welcome to Local Contractor Marketing, built for contractors who want to scale smarter. I'm Rena Bindi. Along me is my co-host, Brian Cotto. Together, we've spent years helping service-based companies grow their brand, attract better clients, increase visibility, revenue, and win in today's digital world. Each episode will have real conversations about what's working, what's not, and how contractors can stay ahead. If you're running a business with a team and big goals, you are in the right place.
Welcome to Local Contractor Marketing. How's it going today? How are you, Rena? So what do we want to talk about this week?
Let's dive into the winter slowdown or speed up. This time of year, a lot of contractors, because it's wintertime, holidays, people aren't wanting contractors inside of their home like right before the holidays, especially when they're going to have family members. Most of those gigs have already been booked a month in advance, and everyone's, let's get it done before the holidays. Let's discuss about the slowdown of winter and ways to speed it up for what's going to happen in January.
Awesome. Yeah. So one of the first things that we typically recommend for clients is, now's a great time to just double check and kind of reconfirm that you have everything in place, right? So with your Google business profile, making sure that it's properly filled out, that you have everything in there, that you're continuously posting to it, that you've got your socials in account, that your website's tuned up and ready to go, and using this as a springboard or launching pad into the spring season. They don't call it spring for nothing, I suppose. But this really is a great time for most contractors to take the opportunity to develop more content. Don't take the foot off the gas and don't sit back and just assume that we're not getting calls right now, we can't do anything. There's a lot of things you can be doing. Video content, creating more content, following up even with people to pre-book your spring sales calls, right? Where if you know that by February or March, things are going to be picking up quite a bit. Now's a great time to reach out to those people. Yeah. Email market to them. Let them know, hey, we get busy in March. Do you want us to go ahead and lock in your time for March? You could really, if you needed to, you could potentially take a deposit with that as well. Hey, just to lock in your appointment for that, we're going to need a $50, $100, whatever deposit. And we've got you locked in. That's optional, obviously, but there's a lot of different things that contractors can be doing right now to increase that cash flow. Another thing that we often see with landscapers, for example, with landscapers or anyone that is very seasonal, obviously you're not going to want to rip up your lawn or start doing landscaping in the dead of winter. But one of the things that we tend to see also is diversification of services, right? Now you have to be careful with this because it can potentially cause problems with your GBP. It can cause problems with dilution of your brand or your entity, right? We want to make sure that we've got that. But snow removal for a landscaping company is a very logical kind of add-on service that works in the wintertime. So those are some things that we definitely recommend like looking
Easy
into. What are some
pickups
things that
or
you tend to see?
light hanging. They have the
There you
ladders.
go.
They have the people who
Yep.
are used to being in high spaces. Really easy for them to just go hang lights around the area. The boots on the ground aspect of developing power partnerships and relationships, email marketing campaigns, door hangers, value add-ons, even booking out the gigs or offering a little bit less for them to do the interior job before the spring season hits. I've seen all sorts of really cool items that contractors have been offering or giving away. And I don't mean giving away in services, but just as appreciation gifts and reaching out to their current client base list. And our clients who start taking pictures and doing photo shoots. So we have more media to use. This is a really good time for them to organize those files so that we, as digital marketers, have more to put onto Google and to push out for their social and push out for their other aspects. I love the people who get organized during this slower time and do strategy planning. It's how we set ourselves up. Like even you and I, we do strategy sessions and planning out for what it's going to look like over the next quarter, what we need to build on, how we need to grow, to have our own KPIs. And with contractors, this is it. Like New Year's resolutions are coming up as well. You're going to be looking at your wins and losses from this last year and learning from them, just like us.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things a point that I just want to drive home and reiterate is the organization. Throw everything into a centralized place like Google. We're a Google ecosystem company. And if you have it, throw all your photos into Google Drive, throw them into Google Photos, upload that into Google Drive. If you aren't in the Google ecosystem, there's things like Dropbox, there's iCloud, any of those things. And having all of those photos of your projects in a central place where if you do decide to work with a marketing company, or if you're doing it in-house, for example, I know some of the viewers are doing that, it allows you to put a centralized place where any of your digital assets can be accessed, right? So that's one of the first things that I recommend. The other thing that I would piggyback on that is, so in the past, one of the things that we've worked with our clients on is it's a 5-bucket system. So the way that you would do this within that singular folder, right? If you just throw all your photos in there, it's going to be a hot mess. It's going to be crazy town. What tends to work really well is if you take within that folder, you break it into subfolders on the key pillars that your business is known for, that really drive revenue to your business. So using the example of landscaping, right? Or we could pick any industry right there. What you're going to want to do is, and this should mirror the services on your Google business profile. So you're doing a double whammy with this.
Yes.
But you would take, and within that primary folder, you would create a subfolder about maybe pavers, right, for landscaping. Or you might have something like lawn maintenance, right? And within that's where you're going to put in your lawn maintenance services, maybe with the pavers or hardscaping. You're going to put in any photos that you have of that. So that way, when you're going through there and as you're developing social content, what we often recommend is you rotate through any of those folders. And this is even throughout the entire year, right? This isn't just a seasonal thing. But you would go through those folders, and that's where it keeps your content fresh.
Yes.
But it also keeps it very on point with the services that you do. So painters, I know we have a lot of painters in the group. One of the things that we can look at there is interior, exterior, residential, commercial, right? You have those subfolders within your primary Google folder, and then you start dumping your photos into each one of those so that if you do work with a marketing company, or if you're doing marketing yourself, and you're wanting to go in and put, hey, we need some residential photos, we'll go grab 2 of those. Then the next post, we're going to maybe do exterior painting, and then maybe an interior painting, and then maybe another exterior one, and then a commercial one. But you can go to each one of these individual pre-populated folders. You're not hunting around for everything. You just know exactly where it's at.
And that also comes in handy for a whole house, right?
Totally.
Our team has a really good idea of what we're looking at with the images. And sometimes the owner has like another thought or another thing going on in their mind for what this image actually is and should be displayed for. And I had one client say, "Oh, that's not what this is a picture of." And I was like, "You didn't label it. It looks exactly like all of the other tree trimming photos. Like, how are we not supposed to know that it's not tree trimming when it looks like all of the others to us and it's an image, right?"
100%.
And I'm just like, if you're unwilling to spend 10 seconds to type in what it actually is, then don't put that on your team to be able to read your mind, because I'm not a mind reader.
Yeah.
You're not a mind reader. And communication, crystal clear communication to the best of our ability.
And the other added benefit to that. So from an SEO standpoint, search engine optimization, for anyone new to the group and is not familiar with the acronyms that we like to throw around, search engine optimization absolutely loves that. So if you can tell me, so key rules on this is, if you can rename the image in the folder to what it actually is, right? Be descriptive without giving away personally identifying information. I don't want to have this person's address or whatever on it. Google doesn't like to see that.
Yeah.
However, what you can do is, if instead of seeing something like DCIM, which is like typically your photos, right? Instead of saying DCIM12345.jpg, it not only helps us if you rename the photo, it helps Google and search engines better understand what your photo is. So if it's exterior painting or exterior siding paint or whatever it is, interior foyer painting, interior kitchen remodel, right? Those kinds of things will really help Google. Now you can add your interior kitchen remodel 1, interior remodel 2, those kinds of things. That's great. That helps keep the images unique. It allows you to better do naming conventions with it. But search engines actually really enjoy this. In Google, if you actually, instead of going to the very top where it's just all, which is your general web search, if you go over to images, this will also give you an idea of what it is that Google's specifically looking for when it comes to, if we type in interior painting, it's going to give you a bunch of images. Again, you type that in, go over to the image tab at the top of Google, and it's going to give you a bunch of different ideas on this is what it sees and understands as what an interior painting photo should look like. During this slow time, go and take a bunch of pictures of stuff like that, right?
We have
optimize them, put them in your Google folder, and share them out.
one of our clients 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Last week feels like a month to me already at this point in time. One of our clients, she's a dog trainer, obedience trainer, and she uploaded over 1,000 pictures. And I've been getting on her for a while to get this done. She sat down for 2 days, and I had her check in and text me, like, dog sitting, obedience training, aggressive dog training. And she categorized and she put them into folders. She did the changing from the image over to the exact keyword. And it took her some time to do it. And it was cool because I'm her accountability buddy on it too.
Yeah.
But she did it, man. I'm so proud of her. She did the thing that's going to help her company achieve, and she did have 14% growth in the last week and a half on her Google profile with what we've put in place for her too. 14%. That actually is a lot. It doesn't seem like a lot because I like more. Yeah, that's a lot. And it's a result of the action steps that she has taken to be organized this much.
Yeah, long and the short of it is be organized. Help yourself, help your marketing agency. Just having that in Google Drive or again, any shared repository that someone can then go and access, you upload it. Again, there's particular reasons why we use Google Drive. The bottom line is that you have to have a folder that is organized, organize your photos. There's a lot of other things that we like to do as far as also we like to have any business documentation. Historically, the other thing that businesses should be aware of as well is historically December through about mid-January, Google tends to get very aggressive and has a view first, ask questions later approach to business profiles, right? If they think that you're up to anything weird, spammy, anything like that, they'll potentially suspend your business. And then they'll ask questions. They're like, you got to verify or prove to us that you're an actual business. This becomes a very big problem for a lot of local service businesses that don't have addresses, or potentially people that have been like competitors flagging you or things like that. Another prep kind of thing that we all often recommend for clients is have that Google Drive folder that has all of your information. This also goes well for if you do, for some reason, get suspended or Google has some weird stuff going on with it. You want to have that documentation in place. So again, during this slow time, this is a great opportunity to get your ducks in a row, get everything organized and situated so that it's just that year-end button-up, that year-end checklist, and using this as a catalyst for moving into 2026, moving into the new year.
Business ID, any proof of being a company.
Proof of who you are. Yep. Link to your Secretary of State listing or filing. Better Business Bureau. Yep.
Yeah. All of those important documents that when we start a business, they don't seem that important to us. It's, yeah, we need this. We need to have these documents for our CPA and these other items. Google actually, for the Google profiles and for Google to know who we are, that this is legitimate local company and we're not from overseas just trying to take up digital real estate or something along those.
Or even here domestically trying to spam the map. Really what Google's looking at is they're looking at it from a perspective of, are you a legitimate business?
Yes. These are proof items. These are small items that when compiled send over 250 trust signals that Google is looking for on your profile.
Yep.
So these are part of the stack to make sure that we have the stability that Google is looking for and the trust signals that Google are looking for. Yeah, I hate doing paperwork. Hate it.
It's a necessary evil, unfortunately, because without having the paperwork and without having the proper documentation in place, you're going to be scrambling for it. Again, like you're saying, it doesn't matter, or when you initially start a business and your CPA is asking for all of this, it seems, this is just mind-numbing and so painful to put together. However, I would much rather have that in a centralized place where if Google asks for it, look, there you go. I have it right here. I can give it right over to you. It's going to be a much better situation for that as opposed to scrambling around and being like, where's this?
They took down my profile. I'm not getting any calls. It's been 3 weeks and I still don't have all of the stuff that they need.
Exactly. Just have it done in the first place. To put it in perspective also of like contractors and things like that, it's like OSHA, right? Very similar to that you never want to be caught without having proper PPE, the safety requirements, your MSDS sheets, all of these things. If you get caught without that and OSHA comes knocking at your door or looking at compliance and you're like, let's find this, let's look over here for this. That's a really precarious situation.
Yeah.
And unnecessary stress. The idea is like just have the documentation, have that stuff prepared ahead of time so that when Google, the OSHA of the internet, if you will, decides to come knocking on your door, you're like, yeah, no, totally cool. Here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. What else do you need? Like, we're not hiding anything. This is who we are, what we do, where we do it, why we do it, how we do it, et cetera, et cetera. And you're able to provide that documentation right up front. It streamlines your... So another thing that some people may or may not know is that when you go through the verification process and you hit the screen where Google's, okay, cool, you're ready to re-verify, upload your documents. You have 30 minutes to do that.
I thought it was only 15. They're giving us 30 now? That's great.
It's 30 minutes, but you have to provide that within 30 minutes or you get basically flagged even more, or potentially it won't even allow you to upload stuff. They may just flat out say, nope, we're not gonna, where the appeal is denied. And the reason for that is because if you are a legitimate business, again, like with OSHA, these are documents that you should have in place and that you should know where they're at. Google is taking a no excuses approach to this. If you don't have those things in place, if you don't know where those things are at, if you've got to go look for them, it puts you in a little bit of the spammer category, where it's, let me go and try and find this, or let me go and fabricate this, or let me go and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It really calls into question the legitimacy of your business.
Yeah.
So
100%.
long and the short of it is just get your stuff, use this opportunity, get your stuff in order. And if that's something that you need help, or if you need a template for any of that, Rena and I are more than happy to jump on a call, walk you through a checklist. And I'm sure that Rena will have a call to action thing down below. PDF.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Yep. You can
Awesome. All
download
you got to do is reach out to us, and we're happy to send that your direction. So reach out, leave us some comments, let us know what you're having issues with. Rena, anything else you want to add?
Let us know some more your winter slowdown into spring speed up tips and tricks are for other contractors as well who may not be as experienced.
Perfect. Sounds great. Local contractors, hope you're productive. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.